Welcome back to Ken Rosewood Arena, a stunning venue, and it's packed to the rafters as we kick off round 6. I'm Annie Sargeant, great to have your company. And joining me for this one, two of the greats of the game, Kath Cox and Kim Green. Round 6 Super Netball, showcasing one of the all-time great rivals in netball, built over many years and heightened across 6 years of Super Netball. New South Wales up against Victoria, the Swifts up against the Vixens, both sitting in the top 4 after 5 rounds. But first, on the eve of Anzac Day, we pause for a moment as we pay special tribute to our Anzacs. Let's get courtside to Penny Locker, who'll recite the Ode of Remembrance.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Anzac ceremony, where we gather to remember and honour the bravery and sacrifice of the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps who fought in the Gallipoli campaign during World War I. Today we come together to pay our respects to the soldiers who gave their lives for their country, their families and their fellow citizens. This Anzac Day, we remember those who have served and continue to serve our country in times of war, conflict and peacekeeping missions. We also acknowledge the impact that war and conflict has had on the lives of countless individuals and communities throughout history. As we observe this ceremony of remembrance, let us pause and reflect on the lives lost, the courage shown, and the sacrifices made by those who have served our country. Let us remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice and those who returned home forever changed. Today we pay tribute to the Anzac spirit, the qualities of courage, resilience, and mateship that have been a hallmark of the Anzacs since their formation. We honour their legacy and pledge to carry on their spirit of service and sacrifice in our own lives. Introducing Sergeant Penny Looker retired, who will be reciting the ode, followed by Bugler, representing the New South Wales Ambulance Service, Greg Englert. Please, I invite you all to stand.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget.
Thank you, Penny. Thank you, Greg. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy tonight's game.
Special moment as the stadium reflects on our great Anzac tradition, the silence marking great respect. And now from the silence we transition to applause as the athletes take centre stage, teams topping up their warm-up. Vixens coming to Sydney off the back of a 9-goal loss to the Thunderbirds. The Swifts jumping into the top 4 after surviving a 1-goal win over Lightning. Swifts, Cathcocks, twice premiers, 2019 and 2021. The Vixens in 2020, it's all set for a monumental clash.
Isn't it? They're just changing it, aren't they? One to the other. Interesting looking at the stats of the Sargeant-McKinnis Cup since it's been going. There's only 4 times that it's been 1 win apiece for each of the sides within that year. So typically, whoever wins the first game goes on to win the second one. That momentum is just so important.
And very gracious of Simone McKinnis to bring it with her to Sydney, I might add. It's on show. It didn't stay back in Melbourne, so I'm sure the Sydney fans will be hoping it stays right there. There's plenty of pride on the line and plenty of fabulous matchups, Kath. We'll get to those in just a moment. See the Swifts there. They look very relaxed, very confident off the back of a magnificent win. Sudden death win against the Lightning last week, and they seem buoyant. Sounds like training was good. Bryony Akel there gives a low 10 to Maddie Proud. Just fine-tuning the messaging. We expect to see that mid-court rotate through. That's Bryony Akel's style. Freshening up the legs constantly through the game. Not as much about tactics as about getting that intensity on court.
Yeah, it looks like plenty of tactics here, though, doesn't there? Quite an intense chat happening with the captain, Maddie Proud. Bryony Akel, obviously a brilliant centre court player herself with this great club too.
And there she is, Liz Watson. Had a tough time in the office last week. Attracted plenty of attention from the umpires. Now, the umpires for today's match, Justin Barnes and Gemma Cook, were the umpires that the Vixens had last week. And I had a little bit of a scrutiny back on that match, and it was particularly in the second and fourth she got close attention, and that's Gemma Cookson. We'll keep an eye on that tonight. I'm sure there's some work done in the training park this week about getting out and contesting their one-on-one brand, but getting away from the whistle. Hannah Mundy with that right knee heavily strapped. Seems to be an intensity in the group. They've come to play and rectify last week's loss. Kate Eddy, long arms at wing defence. A lot of arm over pressure will be applied by her. Kira Austin and Liz Watson, the Diamonds captain. Some sombre words in the Vixens huddle as they prepare. So much at stake in this one, and of course, no breathing space on the ladder. Suncorp Super Netball providing perhaps best yet.
Well, this round in particular, if you have a look at all of the games, they're playing opponents very, very close to themselves on the ladder. And two contrasting looking at huddles, I've got to say, it looked far more serious in the Melbourne Vixens huddle. A few smiles now, but certainly a lot more relaxed and having a little bit of fun down the Swifts end.
So the visitors take the court, and Kath Cox, let's have a look at the Woolworths team cards.
Well, no real surprises in the front line, but it's the defence end we spoke about in that pre-game. Jo Weston starting at goal defence with Olivia Lewis back. So that then puts Emily Mannix on the bench. Em Mannix just the 9 games out of the 5 games we've played already. And Olivia Lewis, well, she is an excitement machine, isn't she? And she normally on for impact, but today she gets the job from the start.
Kate Maloney, of course, did some bench time. She won't want to see Timber in this one. And out come the Swifts.
And again, it's a beautiful looking side, and Bryony Akel hasn't changed from that team that did the job to start last week. Taylor Fraser, we spoke to her in the pre-match. She knows her job coming off the bench, and I expect to see her at some stage, as you mentioned. Bryony Akel happy to run the changes.
So it's 3 versus 4 on the ladder. A whole lot of pride on the line as two of the best go head-to-head to kick off round 6. And a win for the home team would see them leapfrog the Vixens on the ladder. First centre pass will be taken by Maddie Proud as Olivia Lewis just says, how do you do, to Romelda Aiken-George. Liz Watson lines up against the Victorian in Ali Smith. And there she is, Helen Clutch Howsby. Special delivery of the ball to Maddie Proud. Umpires, we just remind you, Justin Barnes and Gemma Cook. It's all set here at Ken Rosewell Arena as we kick off round 6. Suncorp Super Netball. Up go the lights and up goes the intensity and the touches from the visitors. Melbourne Vixens quick to make their presence felt.
That was Kira Austin magic, but I also want to put that down to the feel in the Swifts at the start of the game. I didn't feel like they were going to start well. They looked far too relaxed. That ball, tunnel vision from the captain, Maddie Proud.
Chance to take it to 2. Vixens centre. Liz Watson quick off the line. Support from Western.
Goal attack, obstruction, centre, third taker. Advantage obstruction, centre.
Austin to Maloney. Kumwenda holding top of circle. What a lightning ball to Kira Austin. Well, the Vixens have come to play and they're out by 2.
Keep your eye on the battle between Jo Weston and Helen Housby. They have been in each other's face before the first whistle even went. That is going to be a good battle.
First test for Olivia Lewis over the top to Imelda Aiken-George. Gosh, she's been handy, and doesn't the crowd love the Firebirds, the former Firebird import for the Swiss. Parallel to Eddie, they're looking for Maloney. Kumwenda dances around, doesn't free herself. It's congested across the transverse line. Kumwenda, quick ball again, lightning hands from Maui Kumwenda, and Kira Austin with the finish.
Well, 2 from 2, straight down the guts of the circle, exposing that space.
Housby floats across the line, quickly looks to Aiken-George, and the double play comes from Proud. Nothing in it. Dare we dream for a draw too early? Soon I'm going to pray.
It's probably a little too early,
I'm
but knock yourself
pray.
out.
Yeah, I will. Austin. Always composed, always steady, but lightning turn of speed when she wants. Maloney chooses the wrong path. It's Watson that just clears some relief from the circle, so they reset.
Not a whole heap of strong drives coming from the Melbourne Vixens, is there? A few dodges, but not really freeing themselves at the right time.
Or was that timing out from the Vixens, or was it good defence from the Swifts?
Probably a bit of both.
Maddie Proud steps in straight off the line as Hatley. She'll be getting close attention. And again, the quick hands of Maddie Proud. And that's a road that we can expect to see well travelled across this match as Romelda Aiken-George adds another to her total.
Well, that is the issue, though, isn't it, with Jo Weston paying such close attention to Helen Housby, because Olivia Lewis has got that one-on-one job with Aiken.
Kira Austin. Australian Diamond. Cool as you like. Vixens out by 2. It's been a frantic start. Pace is on early. Just have a look there on left of screen. Olivia Lewis doing the footwork around Romelda Aiken-George. Of course, she's been schooled well. The former Fever player knows all about defending Janelle Fowler. She's got the hops on her. Also a lovely touch of attacking play. Another chance for the visitors. Pressure from Housby. It's congested in the midcourt. Maloney up early. They stall across the transverse line into the pocket for Watson.
Oh, straight over the top. How's the vision and the timing from Kira Austin on that one? But you're right, it's that same spot across the top of the transverse line. They're getting bogged down a little.
And I want to ask you early, Kat, because you talked about the timing between Austin and Kumwenda. Kumwenda cleared the space then beautifully for that cut and drive.
Well, she's done it every time. She's been out of the circle every single time at the start of this quarter, and it's just allowed Austin to take that second phase or that drive into the circle so well.
And the finish from Kumwenda, so from Kat Cox's lips to their ears, the Vixens shooting circle has responded. Pocket they go to Maddie Proud. Oh, nice little dodge from Romelda. Where'd that come from? Fancy footwork from the Jamaican.
You've got to keep your eye on Jo Weston, though. She is wholly and solely staring at Helen Housby. So poor Olivia Lewis has got a big game to play by herself.
So part of the Swifts game plan. They've got Romelda Aiken-George at post, but they want to maximise Housby up the front. Steady as she goes from the Vixens, and they take it to 8. They've doubled the host score. There's what you're talking about, Kat. Weston working hard on Housby. We've talked about how influential she is in the line, but it's crowd to Remelda Aitken-George that's causing the damage.
It is. And Jo Weston, she had her eyes up. Could have come in and had a fly at that ball in the back, but she's so focused on Housby. Yes, you have to be focused on Housby. She'll do the damage otherwise, but at the moment, every shot has gone through Remelda Aitken.
Oh, good touch. Clow, eyes up, disrupted the connection from from Watson to Austin. So here's one for the Swifts. Important moment in the first quarter, but dished off over the sideline and like air out of a balloon. Vixens back in business.
Oh, yeah, big shove in the back from Smith then and complaining about the arm. Interesting. Well, Kumwenda smart.
Just too easy for the Vixens at the moment. They've got the aerial approach. They've got some double plays into the circle. Swifts will have to address this defensively. Hadley, the go-to off the line. And the crowd held their breath. They saw how high Olivia Lewis got to that ball, how close she was, but not close enough.
Again, that vision, well, it's there, isn't it, tonight? They're letting it go straight away, no hesitation.
Well, way too easy, the access into the Vixens shooting circle. Kimmy Green, you're working the sideline. What's it look like from there?
Well, Coxie, you talk about not having hesitancy in that Vixens attacking end. Their centre pass is so clear. You can see from last week they've really readjusted to what they needed to do. One is going out on first phase, and Austin or Watson is getting back on a second phase. It is clear who's getting it, and it's clear who's getting second phase.
Housby with the finish for the Swifts, and they take it to 7. Very confident start from the visitors.
Again, it's the same place on the court though. Now they find a bit more room, but it's Kumwenda out again. Sarah Clow, smart, as is Ali Smith. Sarah Clow, though, will not let Kumwenda back into the circle. Really got up behind her and blocked her up.
Little hesitation, but they find their mark. Kumwenda with the finish. And the Vixens take it to 11. Oh, well read, Olivia Lewis out inside position. And she will earn possession. Remelda Aitken-George out of play.
Well, out of the circle and out of play. Bryony Akel probably whispering, get back in there, stay there, we will come to you.
A whisper or a roar?
Well, Bryony Akel, it's probably a half-half.
Oh, strong contest. Crowd on Watson. And Watson gives her a little elbow to say, I've got this running line. Kumwenda hesitates. Good pressure from Clow. A little tug on the ponytail, Maddie Proud giving just a little indication that it's tough out there and they're under pressure.
Oh, yes, an offensive contact against Maui Kumwenda. So she was holding her own space as hard as she could. The umpire said, no, you're pushing off the body.
They've been pretty clean up to that point, and that's something they would have worked on during the week as Lewis gets another good look at it. Too much space and time on the delivery, and she'll punish you on that one.
Little discipline, too far off on the feed.
Little congested again. Maloney with the throw in. Austin holds it up. Kumwenda out of the circle. Is that the moment, Kath, where you think the timing's out between the two?
Well, it's been working at the start of this quarter because whilst Kumwenda's out, Austin has been getting in there. That is their first miss of the game, though. But what Sarah Clow is now doing is getting right up behind Kumwenda and not letting her back in the circle, and that's where it's starting to break down for them.
Yeah, a little misread from Maui Kumwenda, and they pay for it, the Vixens. In the hands of the hosts, they swoop down court through Ali Smith. Oh, looking for Housby, and so was Weston.
Two offensive contacts to both of the goal shooters. Yeah, they're not prepared to play nice, are they? Anyone on the court at the moment. So much on the line in this game.
Ill-disciplined from Remelda Aitken-George, and she's out of play. Watson, parallel ball to Weston. They're looking for the link, and that's Austin. Kumwenda out of the circle.
Sarah Clow's defence has been outstanding on Kumwenda. riding her like a glove, and at the moment she's not getting those turnovers, but she will soon.
That leaves the task of Maddie Turner, a huge one to contain Austin. And we take a breather, a much-needed breather. It's an HCF timeout, a tactical timeout, called by the New South Wales Swifts. They trail the Vixens 7-12.
We are very, very wide in transition. We need to centre it up and finish your lead. We're half going. We see them, so we stop. Do your prelim front cut around and finish the lead so we are one step ahead. Where every ball we're contested. So what do we need to do? Do early work behind and then punch forward. We cannot throw those balls in. You've got to work to circle edge. No mixed match on the centre pass. Stay on. Find her straight away. We are better than this, yeah? You must do the hard work. Starts now. Work to circle edge. Let's be smart. Let's go. Right. Start wide. Just wait till the first ball's gone. And then if that's why I'm done. Yeah, no, stay for the first one. And then it's here. Let's go. Bring it in. We still got it. Let's go. We spoke about all week. That's okay. Let me get to the treasurer. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, Swift.
Well, not mincing words, Bryony Akel. We are better than that. Annoyed with the hesitation on the delivery, that they're too wide in transition, and that float on the ball needs to work harder. Can they respond? We're just outside the start of the Power 5. And of course, we all know that's Helen Housby territory. Austin too good, and Kumwenda, she's liked a piece of the super shot in 2023. So what's in store? 17 seconds will tell the story. Vixens lead 12-7. They'd be very pleased with the improvement in intensity from their performance last week.
Bryony Akel making a change in that timeout. Taylor Fraser, we just saw Clow have a good look at that. On for Smith.
Beautiful ball. Split Turner and Clow. So they've tightened up one area. It's still a little loose in front of Kumwenda. Housby with the float over the line, and that sound signals the Power 5 in the onset of Suncorp super shots. Ronaldo Aiken-George takes the one. All too easy across the line for Liz Watson, having things all her own way early, the Diamonds captain.
Not an issue on the centre pass, because this is where they get slowed up. So if the second phase was an easy one as well, they'd have a problem with Swifts here. But look at Liz Watson. Doesn't even wait for Fraser to get up. Wow, they know the importance of this clash, don't they? Getting a bit of breathing space on that ladder.
And keeping scoreboard pressure, they go with the ones. She had a tough day in the office last week, Liz Watson, up against Latanya Wilson. So I think she's enjoying a revived performance in this one. One for the Swifts. They chip away through the back door in Western. Austin just hovering on the far side of the court, a little indecisive. There comes Bobson screaming through.
Not making up a huge amount of ground, the Vixens are they, but they're not panicked. Very patient in trying to find the next best option. And obviously no issue with the shooting. And where they're dangerous, the Vixens, is how balanced this circle is. 7 for Kumwenda, 6 for Kira Austin.
We know Helen Housby loves a super shot, but Liv Lewis also knows that, and she's hunting in super shot zone.
Unlucky not to come up with it then, though, Liv Lewis, wasn't she? Talk about hang time.
Well, smart play. Forces the Swifts to take just the one.
Have a look at this Harvey Norman replay off her player. Out hunting, as you say.
So it's a Power 5, but they're trading blows one by one. The New South Wales Swifts, the Melbourne Vixens. Game on our hand. Well, they're all around it, but it came down in the hands of Kumwenda. Congested in the middle corridor, but that's where Housby takes the lead. Up high goes Maloney. Can't believe that it's not off Proud's hands. Quick play of the ball.
The difference when it's congested for the Swifts, though, is they're happy to go to the pockets and feed that long ball. It's not a percentage play, but they've had no issue with it so far.
And they know who's going to the pocket and who's going top. Different at the other end of the court, but effective nonetheless. Who'd argue with the scoreline?
Well, exactly right. We're making it sound all doom and gloom to the Melbourne Vixens, aren't we? But they're up by 5.
think, Kat Cox, you're looking for perfection.
Always.
Glides in, Kira Austin. The high ball's requested of Conwenda. Turner gets a piece. And the skipper, Kate Maloney, slows it down with a throw-in.
Oh, yeah, that is beautiful defence. This time it's Maddie Turner. Forces the held ball. Absolutely no one to get rid of it to.
And it lifts the crowd. They loved it, loved the intensity, loved the read. Quickly they're down court, the Swifts. Housby over the top to Aitken George. Takes the one, Swifts hit 12. So just a minute and a half left in this first quarter. A bit of resurgence from the New South Wales.
Oh, what a crack at the ball from Maloney. Well, I thought she'd almost done that cleanly for a moment. We'll have another look at that in a moment as Aitken misses a sitter.
For two, Housby loves a two-point super shot, and the crowd loves her, loving her. Well, Vixens dominating all quarter. We're now down to 2 points in it. Good pressure from Plow all the way. Entire long lead to the transverse, stuck to her guns, and the Swifts come up with it. What can they do? Seconds remaining.
Those are those ones I mentioned earlier. Sarah Clow is going to come up with plenty of ball if she keeps on Maui Conwenda.
This game being played like it's the final quarter, not the first. High road to Romelda Aitken-George. All the team pointing to the one-point shot. Take the one. She does just that. And we've got a one-goal game in our hands. So possession from the centre quickly off the line was Hadley. Oh, they're greedy. They want the lead. Housby happy to oblige. Rings out. Denied twice. They keep it alive. The Swifts, good support play from Fraser. Crowd, high ball, comes down with ice on it. Oh, the crowd can't feel it. You'll go a long way to see Helen Housby miss 3 super shots in a row. But she does. What a first quarter of netball. This game promised so much. It's delivered that and more. It's a one-goal game as we go to the first break. The Vixens, the visitors, lead the New South Wales with 16 to 15.
Welcome back to the quarter time break. Thanks to Origin, we have NRLW superstar Jess Surgis in the house. Jess, now I don't have to probably ask, but who's your team and what are you loving most about the season 2023?
Yeah, it's a little bit obvious here, but definitely the Swifts. I haven't gotten to many games before, but just the atmosphere is absolutely unbelievable. They're playing so well, and yeah, I think it's amazing to see girls and females just progress and, you know, perform at a sport.
And you played a little bit of netball when you were younger. I'm guessing you're a mid-quarter, but what are you?
Yeah, great guess. I played pretty much all my childhood. I was a centre and goal defence, but I was quite aggressive, so obviously why I couldn't last too long and kind of switch codes, but yeah, it was awesome.
Well, and how is preparation going for the 2023 season for you girls?
Yeah, it's going to be a big year for us. We've added a few more teams to bring it up to 10, so you know, it's going to be a longer season, which we love, but yeah, we're just kind of getting into the groove of things now and yeah, just really enjoying it so far.
Well, thanks so much for joining us at Fox Netball. Over to you, Annie.
Thanks, Kim. Great chat with Jess. A couple of mid-courts hogging the limelight. Kath will sort that one out. Okay, well, we've got a game in our hands. The Vixens, the visitors, up by 1, lead the New South Wales Swifts 16 to 15. The first quarter of netball that was played like a final quarter, you can feel the intensity. So no doubt about the rivalry, plenty at stake for both teams. Top 4 position. But a weekend of netball that's going to shift and change that ladder. Kira Austin, cool, calm and collected, drops the first quarter in, the first goal in of the second quarter.
Helen Housby bursting across that transverse line for the centre pass, and it was all too easy after that, wasn't it?
The reply from the Swifts. Maloney Liz Watson, she's been good. She's our Telstra player to watch. She's opened well.
Yeah, she has, and she did have a big point to prove, obviously, after last week. And she still had 30 feeds last week, so just not Liz Watson's standards. We know she's responsible for some pretty big numbers. Gosh, that's a big, strong rebound from Kumwenda. Up and over Sarah Clow.
That'll leave Sarah Clow smarting because she is an expert in that department, so we'll see the reply. Cowsby floating across the line. They've just switched up Hooby on strike from centre pass. Changing it up from Hadley. Oh, snatched out of Lewis's hands. Romelda Aiken-George.
That ball certainly could have a bit more height on it, couldn't it? You can see how close there Olivia Lewis is.
And what a stroke from Simone McKinnis. Olivia Lewis not expected to start the line off in the interchange. Started with a bang.
Oh, yeah, just lost the feet a little bit there, Kumwenda. Couldn't gather.
Clarification from Gemma Cook to Kumwenda. In the hands of Swifts. Hadley deep down court. Turner working in attack. Quick ball from Proud.
Yeah, keep an eye on this quarter, though. The Swifts have not won a second quarter all season. For whatever reason, this seems to be the one they struggle with. They will be aware of that.
Well, a good rev up from the boss, Bryony Akel. A tactical timeout in the first quarter, and no doubt again at quarter time. And they're running goal for goal in this one, and the boss likes it. Bryony Akel asking for more, and the Swifts delivering. So they hit the front, 19-18. And I think this may not be the first time we see the score flip. Both have come to play. Austin tries to clear some space from Turner. Eddie. Austin, top of the circle, it's congested.
Oh, look at the push and the shove between Clow and Kumwenda.
Well, it's a brave request from Kumwenda, arm in the air, to have it delivered over Clow with so little room behind. Got the screen on, blocking from the rebound.
Taylor Fraser
everywhere.
How brave was that of Taylor Fraser? She put her head down and she went in strong for that ball. Eyes only. That was never going anyone else's way. Have a look at that.
Body on the line. Taylor Fraser earning the wing defence bid. Wants to keep it. In Swift's hands. Not out of the blocks well in this one, but they've carved their way back in. Now starting to find their rhythm. Proud early, takes a long lead. Fraser working hard in attack. Quick ball from Hadley, finds the air, finds Romelda Aiken-George. George finds Ring. Oh, and a layup! So
it was too easy the first one.
Well, you could hear the crowd hold their breath on that miss off the ring. So the Swifts are out by 2, and Simone McKinnis has wasted no time. The Vixens call an HCF tactical timeout. Talk from lots of people in the Vixens camp. Kath Cox, what was the key messaging?
Well, Kate Maloney, I loved hearing her say you've got to punch and get out, because at the moment they're going for the ball and then they're staying there, which is just making everything crowded. She wants more space to work with.
Possession with the Swifts. Oh, great deception from Hadley. Look wide to Proud. punched it up the middle. That's what Maloney wanted, but it's offered by Hadley. Finds a shooting target. That was beautiful play from the home team.
Well, I don't want to go early and say that it's turning into one of their better quarters, this second one, but they're now leading this quarter 6-2, the New South Wales Swifts. Sarah Clow. Well, she's in absolutely everything. She's not afraid of the contest in this game either.
Out hunting, just needs to find the angle. They use the air to get to Kumwenda. She finds a mark. One back for the Vixens. Again, Lewis out hunting, has a go. Oh, nice space for the Swifts, opening up the spaces, and they're finding Romelda Aiken well positioned at the back of it.
That was the best passage of play for me for the New South Wales Swifts. All the prelim moves, all the depth of the court.
Pressure on the Melbourne Vixens and on Kira Austin. Turner with a hand in there. Magician. Cross court to Hadley. Checks the circle first. Back plays. They're patient now. They're confident, the Swifts. Maddie Pratt. You've got to love watching because you can see she just loves playing no matter what's going on.
All too easy in this quarter, isn't it, for the New South Wales Swifts? What a difference. I'd love to know what Bryony Akel said in that break.
Just about to say the same thing because all three are providing a triangle. Their focus going to Aiken. They're leaving a room. They're leaving her at the post. It's all about the timing from that front three and how they'll find her. And they're finding her beautifully.
Well, the good news, though, for the Melbourne Vixens is Em Mannix is on the bench. May not be there that much longer.
Well, it's usually the interchange the other way around. Lewis on for Mannix, but some talent up their sleeve. It's a talented line. Lots of depth. And encouragement for the sideline. Em Mannix, no doubt, chomping to get out there. Here Austin with possession, Turner out of play. Clow just jostling for position against Kumwenda. And the Vixens hit 20. Housby, great speed off the line. Contact call goes against Maloney. He was trying to chop Maddie Proud's angle on a drive. Picks up the penalty. It's interesting, Kath, because when you look at the stats across these two teams on key things like centre pass to goal, gains converted, intercepts, they're pretty well almost even, exactly the same. So you wonder where that little win comes from.
Oh, it's those moments, isn't it? It's the stuff that the captains bring, throwing yourself on the ball.
And that was a good goal from Housby because they've been peppering them to Aitken George, and she's just reminding them, I'll go to the post too when given the opportunity. Up goes Proud, down goes Watson and Proud. Well, they're throwing themselves at everything. Little static now in the Vixens forward line. A little proppy, wanting the screen and the hold, and they've lost that moving pattern they do so well. But not the shot. Beautiful accuracy from Kira Austin. It should be on the Pivot Show tomorrow on Fox Netball.
Here's the Harvey Norman replay. You can see the battle between the two captains there, up in the air and then both on the floor.
She'll need an ice bath, Liv Lewis, because she's throwing herself at everything. She's off the ground. She'll come down with a nosebleed, and she's just missing it by a fingernail. As the Swiss formula works yet again, and they take it to 26, out by 5.
Romelda Aiken does not want to shoot a basic shot. How boring are they? 3 falling out of court, 1 little layup.
Well, she has got a husband and her baby Gigi in the crowd, so I think she's just showing off. It comes down to that. Over halfway through this second quarter. What a turn of events. Dominant in the first. The Vixens now in chase position. Austin, mid-range. She's good from there. Thinks about it. Crowd now riding on every error, every missed shot.
Oh, well picked up from Sarah Clow. I think Maddie Proud was waiting for an umpire call. Looked like she was chopped at the arm on the take.
Oh, great timing from Housby. Not a good ball, not a good decision. She'd like to suggest it was tapped out of their hands, but it was a flat parallel ball eaten by Liz Watson. They need to convert here. Vixens need to chisel away. Well-placed ball has to get over the hands of Sarah Clow. 3-goal game. It's just over a minute.
The double defence, still confident to go to Aiken George, though, as they waited for Helen Housby to enter the circle.
And the Swifts take it to 27. They're out by 5. And just under a minute until we hit the power 5, which we know can turn the game on its ear. And Kira Austin wanted the ball, almost had to hold Turner off the space. Bit of tussle, Eddie and Housby. Nice little contest on the line for that centre pass received.
Yeah, patient work, Hadley. Just waiting to see which way Olivia Lewis was going to go before she fed the ball to Aiken George.
And Kimmy Green, you work in the sideline. The Swifts have turned this on its ear in the second quarter.
Well, they're looking really strong, Annie. What I'm loving is these feeders from the Swifts. They've definitely seen the changes throughout this season in how they're feeding Aiken George. It is now just a quick little feed as opposed to holding onto the ball for too long. So keep an eye on that one. They get on circle edge and they feed it quickly.
And plenty of space to feed it. She's owning that circle. They're giving her lots of room for ball placement. Into the power 5. Not sure it'll rain super shots. We saw in the first quarter they want to chip away with scoreboard pressure. Up they go, drop short, not a good ball, and eaten by Lewis. Good work, good position. Aiken George will stand out of play. Oh, Housby obstruction first. Double whammy. 4-goal game. Good pressure from Taylor Fraser. She's been good as the interchange.
She's been great, hasn't she? Really brought some spark, and she's brought the mongrel in defence too, which I'm loving. Liz Watson not having it her own way by any stretch of the imagination.
No, and great respect being shown by Bryony Akel, because often she's not on court this long when used as an interchange, so she's recognising the hard work done. Cloud 2, mopped up by Fraser. It brings the Swifts bench to their feet.
Yeah, well done, Sarah Clow. She has niggled and stuck at the game plan, and now she's starting to get some of that reward. Here it is on the Harvey Norman replay. Look how close she is to Kamwenda. Up strong.
Maloney, Watson, Kira Austin just trying to hold space and drop forward. Crowd imploring for arm over pressure and a turnover from the Swifts. The Vixens are immune. Kamwenda with a settler. Back to 3. Bryony Akel wants to make some adjustments. And we will go to a tactical timeout, an HCF tactical timeout called by the New South Wales Swifts.
Always interesting when they're called when a team is up, isn't it? So let's have a listen and see exactly why that is.
So what, I'm yelling out double, right? So we're throwing one pass and then running wide. Throw and go and look to get it back. So reconnect with each other down here. The ones that they've intercepted now are the cross-court balls. So fake wide, look down. Yeah? So Helen, stay out, let them bring it down. 2, 4. You just peel out, they'll come up and bring it to you. Guys, bring it in here. What if I just asked you to do an attack? Give and go. Pass, look for each other. Don't look away. We pass and go wide. Pass and hit it hard. Really hard angles in there. We work to circle edge. Discipline. Second phase step up. Right, let's find this out. Let's go. 3.5 minutes we grind. Grind is the only way we're going to do it. Ball by ball, moment by moment. Let's go. Bang on, go. Swifts go. Bang.
Well, Bryony Akel wanting to make good use of the last 3 and a bit minutes remaining until half time to tighten up a few areas, remain the focus.
Have a look at those net points, the match leaders, all Swifts. They're only up by 3, so that is really interesting to me. But you're right, one of the things she said very clearly to Helen Housby, stay back, don't work too hard, let the mid-court bring the ball down to you.
Fascinating, the turnaround of this game, because you wouldn't have said Romelda Aiken-George in that first quarter would have been anywhere near the leaderboard. She just couldn't find a timing. They couldn't find her, but wow, out of the blocks from that first break. Swifts are back in business, game on our hands. What a way to kick off round 6 of Suncorp Super Netball on our special Anzac weekend. Less than 3 minutes until half-time.
I don't know why they reset the penalty then, because Kimwenda didn't even listen to it anyway. She made out she was going to step back and then to step forward.
To the difference, Swifts with possession from the centre. Fraser doing a wealth of work in attack. Hadley's been good, very direct to circle. Up goes a high ball.
That's the quick release that Kim Green was talking about. They get it out of the hands before the defence is anywhere near them.
And proud, the skipper loves it, slaps the hands together, cool as you like, Romelda Aiken-George. Sydney has claimed her as their own, and she's delivering round 6. Austin, Maloney, Kumwenda.
Oh, Turner making no effort to get out of the way. Penalised for it.
Chipping away, taking the ones. Housby tries to free herself of Jo Weston. She's a relentless tagger, Jo Weston. Wears you down across the game. Come up with the ball. Vixens in attack.
Oh, well fed there from Lizzie Watson. Had a little bit of a stumble and still had to try and get the ball off.
And Senator follow. So it's game back on. The ebb and flow of this rivalry between these two teams cannot be denied. Year after year, it's relentless. Austin struggling to find clean air.
Liz Watson was ready to go and had absolutely nothing coming towards her. Had to go up and over to Kimwenda.
Very difficult to read what they wanted. One was running for the 2-point, one was at post. Neither was convincing. And we're all tied up, 29 apiece, into the final minute until half-time.
Well, maybe I did speak too soon, saying that that was the end of the second quarter voodoo for the New South Wales Swifts. They still haven't won this one.
From your lips to Romelda Aiken's attempt at goal. Take it easy on them, Kat, take it easy. She converts, they're up by 1, the New South Wales Swifts. Maloney wants more. They'll need to be careful in time management now, the Melbourne Vixens. Need to be direct, but no rush. That one's over the baseline, but they'll regain the throw-in. 20 seconds on the clock, no need to panic. Kumwenda levels the score, 10 on the clock. They're direct, the Swifts. They'll go straight in. They need to find Aiken-George in good position. Up they go. Oh, what an intercept.
She was about 10 foot, no exaggeration, off the ground.
Well, that was a game changer, that intercept from Liv Lewis. Denied the opportunity for the Swifts to take the lead. Incredible rebound, incredible anticipation. Liv Lewis, what a game she's having. And we're locked up at 30 apiece, half-time. We talked this one up, Kath Cox. Well, it hasn't disappointed today.
Hasn't it all, has it? Ebbs and flows, but no team really able to get away from the other.
Well, we'll catch our breath. We'll get down to you, Kimmy Green, because we're out of breath. It's tiring calling this one.
Well, I've grabbed one of the mid-quarters, Maddie Proud. Gosh, it's a tight tussle out there. But what did Bryony say in that quarter-time break for you guys to come out firing that second quarter?
Yeah, I think it was just our own errors that were letting us down. We were either looking too long or looking too short and not actually even looking in. So it was just about playing smarter and defensively still having a crack, but also being able to stay in play.
And you know the Vixens are going to keep coming at you, but what do you need to do to put this team to bed?
Just focus on us. I think if we can keeping possession, but also looking on Romelda's on all the time under the post, and in defence has got to keep having a crack. I think we're doing well at keeping off circle edge. Just need to keep having a go at ball.
Thanks, Mad.
Thanks, Kimmy.
Well, this game promised, and it's delivering. The Vixens taking the first quarter by 1. The Swifts taking the second quarter by 1. We're all locked up at 30 apiece. What a match, and plenty more coming your way. Round 6 on Fox Netball. Tomorrow, the Firebirds hunting for their first win take on the Giants. The Fever and the Thunderbirds, that is the match of the round, a must-watch. And then on Anzac Day, Collingwood at home to Sunshine Coast Lightning. Time now for players and commentators and fans to take their breath. You stay put though, because when we return, Hannah Hollis will steer the ship for our halftime show. You're watching Fox Netball.
Welcome back to Ken Rosewell Arena, where this top four clash between the Swifts and the Vixens has delivered an intense, seesawing physical match. The scores are locked at halftime at 30 goals each, further underlining just how important this game is in the context of the season for both the Swifts and the Vixens. This is the first instalment of the Sargeant-McKinnis Cup. Kath Cox and Kim Green alongside me as we break down what was, how would you describe that? Not a game of two halves, but a half of two quarters, rather. Let's rip into the halftime highlights, rather. Let's begin with the Vixens attack in the very opening moments of this game, Kath. They came to play.
They did. I mean, it still looks really clogged for me. They were struggling to get the ball across that transverse line, but no issue when they got to the top of the circle. There were some beautiful assists early between Kimwenda and Austin. And Austin, and then around the other way. And I love that they were delivering. They were mixing it up. They were shooting even goals. That makes them really hard to defend, but I think they'll be really upset that they let a 6-goal lead disappear.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you on that. I love what they were able to do in that first quarter. But finding their groove in that second quarter just goes to show you can't just lay down at any stage with the Vixens. They've got so much strength all over the court.
For the first time in that first quarter, we saw a super shot-less first quarter from the Swifts. They had to change something and change it quick going into quarter time. Otherwise, the game was at risk of running away from them. What change did they make, Kim?
Yeah, I think that the early release into Romelda Aiken-George was certainly there. You could see them firing in from everywhere, but then they also had that innate ability to also just go to the circle edge and take their time with it. Patience was key. I love the injection of Taylor Fraser in defence, which allowed also that transition attack to flow a little bit better. She is a wing attack playing in a wing defence position. It gives you that strength. And I love the Swifts using the full width of the court. They're not afraid to go to the pockets. That makes it just really easy to find them. And I think that's when they really did start to put their foot down.
It was a new look defensive unit for the Vixens ahead of centre pass. Olivia Lewis jettisoned into the run onside into goalkeeper, going up against the likes of Romelda Aiken-George. Not an easy task on a good day. Your assessment of her first half?
Oh, she was fantastic. And that's what's really kept Vixens in the race here at the moment. She's able to get around the body really beautifully. Her elevation is just incredible. The fact that she's able to get up that high with two hands or one hand and take it in and off we go. Just incredible. I really love what she's done in this first half.
And it was always going to be a tough job for her because Jo Weston is so worried about Helen Housby that it was going to be a one-on-one battle with George, and she's done an exceptional job so far.
At halftime, let's take a look at the numbers and see if they're backing up how it feels for us fans watching along the sidelines. Kim, when you take a look when the teams are locked up at 30-all, what stands out?
Well, for me, Vixens last week only had 9 games to their name. They've got 7 already at halftime. Swifts are sitting at 4. But if we look just at the penalties in particular, 39 to the Swifts again. Vixens only sitting at 23, which they've clearly gone home in that last little week and reassessed what they needed to do, and they've come back firing.
The scores are locked at halftime. Are we any clearer to knowing who's going to take out the championship points here?
Yeah, I'm going to jump ship. I'm going to the Swifts actually now, just given what I've seen in that first half.
I'm sticking with the Vixens. I think they're pretty solid and they'll come through with a win.
Well, lucky for us, we have another 30 minutes to find out how this game will unfold. Our athletes are putting on a show for us tonight, and Woolworths are putting on their own show to find out how well our Suncorp Super Netball stars knew their fruit and veg. Take a look at how they got on and be sure to get involved yourself.
Welcome to the Woolies Pick Fresh Play Fresh game. True or false? A cup of spinach contains 2 serves of vegetables. True! Yes, up top! When should you eat foods with protein?
All meals and snacks.
Yeah! 10-2, soaring away. See you later. Test your knowledge on the Woolworths Pick Fresh Play Fresh Hub for your chance to win great prizes.
Welcome back. The Swifts are at home to the Melbourne Vixens to kick off round 6 of Suncorp Super Netball, and we're all locked up at 30 apiece in a game that promised so much and so far is delivering. We're going to get down courtside straight away to the Melbourne Vixens coach, Sargeant-McKinnis. Welcome to Sydney, Mona. It's a little intense out there. This rivalry never ceases to amaze when New South Wales plays against Victoria, and I want to thank you straight up for bringing the Sargeant-McKinnis Cup with you. I've buffed it up, I've got it ready, and I found a space in a cupboard out the back, so I hope that's okay with you. Simone, I want to start by saying it wasn't a happy outing for you last week, but obviously you put in some good time in the training paddock, particularly in the area of controlling penalties, and you've also had a masterstroke in the defence line.
Yeah, look, last week was super disappointing, and it's a super tough competition. You've got to be able to move on pretty quickly and address what you need to. So we've definitely learned some lessons, and one of them was that cleaning up the penalties, which I think we're doing much better tonight. But I think Liv's doing a great job out there and reading it really well.
And Simone, why did you choose to go with Liv Lewis over Em Mannix?
It could have been either way, but it is quite the style that suits Liv Lewis. There's not a whole lot of movement there, so she does read it quite well and has that great elevation. And she's doing well. Took her a little while to get the feel for it and timing, but she's come into it really well.
She's certainly got the hops, doesn't she? You're up by 6 in that first quarter. The Swifts then got up by 5, 11-goal turnaround. Where did you see it was falling apart?
Look, I think that we got a bit, our timing was out, we got a bit floaty with our moves and we're lifting the ball up into the air. I think we needed to be much stronger on the take, use our cuts and drives and the angles of the movement.
Simone, there's been a bit of comment, I think it was Bianca Chatford, one of our colleagues, saying that you're really strong in the back end of a game. Do you read it that way, or is every game different?
I think every game's different, and I think because it's such a tight competition, that there are those ebbs and flows in a game. You have to have the capacity, the physical and the mental ability to play it out all the way, and we work hard on that. So, as you said, it's a typical New South Wales-Victoria clash on for young and old, and I'm sure it will be the same for this second half.
Thanks for your time, Simona. I don't want to put the mocker on you, but Coxie tipped Vixens to win.
Well, that is our old team.
We'll leave that with you. It's a sobering thought. The mocker has been placed. Okay,
glad you didn't tell her I jumped ship and changed my mind at half-time. But
no,
anyway.
I was trying to be polite, trying to save you one. Okay, well, the ball has been delivered in the hands of the Melbourne Vixens. So just glancing across court, no changes to either lineup. Oh, and that's a dangerous timing from Maddie Turner. Kumwenda unfazed. First to draw blood, the visitors. And Kath, what do you think the messaging would be from Bryony Aikle in that break?
Oh, she would have been disappointed too that they let that 5-goal margin slip in that second quarter, and you can already see it's a far more measured, far more patient line. They're not letting the ball go unless it's absolutely 100% on. Whether or not that continues under the pressure of this Vixens defence is another thing, so keep an eye on that.
Kate Maloney runs herself into heavy traffic. Watson opens up the angle. Difficult to feed that ball to Kumwenda when that's the angle of her hold.
Well, it is a tough one, isn't it? It's not clear, but Austin is being very smart. She's almost ignoring that, and she's just putting the ball on the other side of the defender.
The high road to Aiken George for good reward. Goal for goal, they trade blows. Quick timeout call by one of the players, obviously moisture on the court. So out will come the mop. Such intensity in that first quarter, and then almost a reversal of it from the Swifts, and now very measured. It's all about control. It's about wearing the game, absorbing the game, minimising errors. Oh, good ball. Austin to Watson. In two, they're down to the circle edge. But nice confusion of space from the Swifts. Holds up the delivery to Kumwenda.
Yeah, that was certainly one of the better centre passes we've seen, wasn't it, across that transverse line?
Chance for the Swifts to reply. Parallel ball to Housby. Oh, the reach from Weston. Great work from Joe Weston. Here's a chance. Kira Austin trying to free herself from the arms of Turner, using the back space. Kumwenda almost with a touch footy offload. Bit of toing and throwing under the post. Clow and Kumwenda doesn't phase Austin. So composed. You can't crack it, can you?
No,
Just
not at all.
That veneer.
Have a look, and I'm sure that's not the case inside, but makes it look at, gosh, the attention that she's receiving from Maddie Turner too. Kira Austin, well, smart ball, just wasn't maybe in the right spot, but Sarah Clow had eyes for the edge of the circle.
And that's too easy, that offload from Austin to Kumwenda, far too easy for the Vixens. And they've jumped it out at the start of this third quarter. Fighting ball!
Yes! Well, you'd have to be pretty silly to go and put a long ball up anywhere near Liv Lewis after what she delivered at the end of that first quarter. I don't think Paige Hartley's going to do that again anytime soon.
There she is, Liv Lewis. Earned the goalkeeper bib out flying, and she applauds the service of her intercept to Kumwenda at the other end. And it's been a flurry of goals from the Vixens. They've come out of the half-time break, the better of the two.
We're seeing a carbon copy, aren't we, of this first half so far?
Swifts with the centre. Defensive pressure from the Vixens, good early in this third quarter. Good stretch from Weston. Ball finds Aiken-George.
And smart work from Helen Housby. Kept Joe Weston in front of her and just turned it open for the ball.
And a good goal from Housby, a tandem jump from the Vixens, so they're doing it offset timing, double pressure on the shot. Watson with a drive across the face of the goal. Kumwenda just sitting waiting. Maloney swings around, takes inside position.
Oh, unlucky. I almost thought that was going to go. A penalty to Kira Austin then trying to push away through a small gap.
Well, let's get down to Kimmy Jean. It's a seesaw. It's a roller coaster, Kim. Well, we'll get down to her in a minute. She's probably absorbed in this game. Absolutely mesmerising contest.
Well, the whistle's coming a little bit thick and fast now, isn't it? I feel like the umpires are recognising that this could get out of control. There's a lot of body on body happening here, and they want to make sure that it stays as controlled as possible.
The gap now 5. Swifts in chase position, as they were in the first quarter.
Sophie Fawns entered the game, so Helen Housby is now sitting on the bench. She did go missing a little bit at the start of that quarter, and you can see another bib up, and it's O'Shannessy with the goalkeeper bib on that's about to enter the game too for the New South Wales Swifts.
I think we can expect that we'll possibly see Sarah Clow shift forward ultimately to goal defence. She's been good there for the Swifts, as has O'Shannessy when she's come on with impact. She's on the side waiting her moment. Oh, it's hectic. Off goes Clow.
Well, it's a clean switch at the moment. So Sarah Clow, Helen Housby, both sitting on the bench.
Yeah, they're bibbing her up in the back plane now, so she'll be on in a minute at goal defence as the Swifts have a little flurry. Not so in the shooting circle, though. Housby sitting on the bench. There's no flash of bibs to see that she might re-enter at shooter. A moving circle an option, Kath?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason it wouldn't be. That's going to take Olivia Lewis's athletic ability in the air out of the contest.
We'll see if that comes to fruition. Clow, though, ready to re-enter the game. Housby does some bench time. Hadley, quick ball.
Again! Why would you do it?
Someone sent a telegraph to the Swifts that Liv Lewis is on court and hunting. The crowd knew it. You and I knew it. Risky ball.
Well, that was all Liv Lewis then too. The pressure, it built, it built. It started to spook the Swifts, and Vixens have come up with possession.
Kimmy Green, let's get back to you now. It's almost a carbon copy of the first quarter, but change is a flurry.
Yeah, you can really feel the momentum down here with the Vixens really starting to fire in that attack end. You can really see just the work they're doing off the ball at the moment. Now, I'm sitting right next to Sargeant-McKinnis, and all she is talking about is keep moving, keep giving another option. So you can just see the work off the ball that they're doing, but have a look at this matchup between Watson and Fraser. I'm really loving this one at the moment because Fraser is sitting in front a lot of the time to make sure that Watson can go and find some space either on the width or deep for a little bit of an intercept.
Great read. Thanks for your expertise. Kimmy Green will keep an eye on that.
Well, that's not exactly what Maddie Proud would want at this point of the game, is it? The Swifts down by 7 goals in this quarter. And a ball to the head for her efforts.
Yeah, Vixen switching up the defence a little. Weston coming off at times to join Lewis and shutting down the back space. It's humming along for the visitors, and they're getting greedy. Lewis wanting the ball and wanting it to get away early.
Well, it's an offside call, I believe, that's gone against Maddie Proud. You saw her reaction. You can hear the crowd's reaction.
Watson out quickly. Fraser chasing. Austin looking for backspace. Kumwenda out on lead. There's the hold from Austin. Just missed the feed. The handle missed. A reset. Front position for Kumwenda. Mid-range shot. Good stretch from Clow. Not enough though. 44-36, just over halfway through the third quarter. Seesawing game. So as the umpire takes the ball, it will be a timeout called. It's a tactical timeout, courtesy of HCF, taken by Bryony Akel and the New South Wales Swifts.
What are we doing on our centre passes? Me on the line, goals up the centre pad. Okay, so we've got that sorted. Centre pass D, let's go one on, inside out, stay on yours. You're hedging too early. Just stay on, build the pressure. Must build the pressure, stay on yours, all right? So use the middle, use your change of direction. Fake wide, look in, but you've got to be balanced. All right, bring this back. Right, one goal at a time. All this is, stay man on, one tip, okay? All right, let's get our touches and our voice back. Let's go.
Let's go one at a time. Let's go. It's in our control. All right, we grind. Let's go. Come on.
Let's go, guys. Oh, it's a sweat. Let's go.
Paige Hadley takes the court. They were clarifying who's on centre pass receives, but the talk path clock's all about timing.
Yeah, and Bronnie Akel too, just saying she wants them to build the pressure here as well. I was half expecting the change of Helen Housby to happen then, but I feel like in a couple of minutes when they get to that power 5 time, that's when it might, particularly if this margin stays at 8.
We wondered earlier, would they go to a moving circle and introduce Housby and get Olivia Lewis switching? You think that could happen?
Oh, well, I definitely think it could happen, but one way or the other, I think they need Housby on. She's been sitting off for a while, so she's been watching the game and seeing what maybe she needs to do a little differently when she comes back on again.
Drop ball by Kumwenda. Good feeding position by Lizzie Watson. Oh, it pops out nicely for Kira Austin. Cool, calm and collected. And the lead 9, the biggest of the game so far. Helen Housby on the bench. Don't ever see her there for very long. Oh, the touch from Maloney. Foot race. Proud of Maloney. Neither of those two will relinquish. What a battle.
Front move from Sophie Fawns was good and it was strong. And it made Jo Weston give it 100% of her attention.
And well placed to Romelda Aiken-George for the finish. And here she comes.
Well, looky, 1 minute from power 5 time. Who's entered the game?
So perhaps all about cooling the jets, cooling the head, and then re-entering the game and pumping away some super shots. We shall see. There's a lot of mopping going on. And there's a lot to mop up for the New South Wales Swifts in chase position, just over a minute outside the power 5. Vixens are looking comfortable. Good support play from Eddie. Maloney checks the circle. Austin rolling the edge. Oh, foot out of court, I'd venture to say, not seen by the umpire.
Yeah, she did well to keep it in, didn't she? But I would tend to agree with you there.
Certainly seen by the New South Wales crowd, and they let Justin Barnes know as the Vixens play on. Let's have a good look. One, it's the second that's out of court, and well and truly. So you hear the reaction from the crowd who just saw it on the big screen. That's one they want back. Quick ball from Housby, a good ball. Turned Lewis.
Well, here she is. Not power 5 time just yet, but a shot to get herself back in the game after sitting on the bench for a little while.
Warming up. Soon she'll extend the range. Little push from Eddie. Or perhaps a little bit of acting from Housby. I think I'll go with the latter. Eddie. Oh, the drive from Watson. Just shifting the Swifts' defence enough to give them some room. Clow working overtime. Good ball.
Well, it's ball placement speeding the defence, isn't it? It looked like it was Swifts over everything then.
And again, it just shows that not often Kumwenda is on a good hold, but she has the ability to ball get. Oh, Lewis, you see her out hunting, and she just puts that hesitation in the mind of the feeder. So it's also a mobile defence format down here for the Vixens.
Oh, silly Joe Weston. Last play she won, Helen Housby.
It's a gift. Offloaded, though. They want to chip away, scoreboard pressure. I can hear you.
Have they got time for that, though? Have a look at the margin here.
Go the twos, go the twos.
Interesting decision from Helen Housby.
Quick ball, beautiful ball. Beautiful read from Kira Austin. She had vision on the take. She saw the space between O'Shaughnessy and Clow. Beautiful delivery.
Surely, now it is Helen Housby in the white arc. That's where they've got to get her.
Finds it. Crowd expected, and why not? Helen Housby, clutch Housby, brings it back by 2. Now let's look for the composure from the Vixens. They've got a good lead. Kumwenda likes a chance from Power 5 as well in 2023. Austin is good.
The Vixens will want to score here, but I don't think they want to rush it. They don't want the ball back in the hands of the New South Wales Swifts to be firing twos.
Well, the strategy of many teams when they oppose a successful super shot team is to employ more possession, eat up time, deny them shooting full stop.
Or just nail them yourself.
Austin's not listening to you, I noticed that. She's writing her own script, and the Vixens love it. 9 the difference. They sit 3 and 4 on the ladder, and the Vixens wanting to stay in that elevated position. The 4 from Lewis.
I mean, look how difficult this is now for Helen Housby, double defended. Remelda Rakin can shoot from this distance, though. I don't see why they wouldn't want to get her there as well.
Doesn't want to. Wants to leave it all to Housby, and the Vixens with a good game plan to keep Helen Housby very busy. Maloney in no hurry. Austin now, first receiver over the centre. Second phase to Watson. Again, eating up possession, eating up time, but spot by a good chip.
Well, keep your eyes on the Swifts bench when the ball gets a little further down there. There's another positional change. Sophie Fawns has come on for Remelda Aiken-George, so another one that can sink those super shots.
Smart play by Bryony Aiken. We almost asked for it earlier in the match. Get the 2 movers on, pump some long shots. What can they do in just over 2 minutes?
Yeah, well, Helen Housby needs support, doesn't she? She can't get these shots off double defended.
Sophie Fawns backs herself. It's from out of court though, back possession with the Vixens. They're in no hurry.
Oh, yeah, whistle we couldn't quite hear then. Swifts thought O'Shaughnessy had gotten away with it for a minute.
Oh, steady play from the visitors. Still 9 the difference. Pressure on the New South Wales Swifts. Sarah Clow, goal defence, started at goalkeeper. The drive comes from Hadley. Fawns into the pocket.
That ball's got to go so much faster to Paige Hadley.
That's the quick ball, out of the hands of the skipper, Maddie Proud. She lines it up, it drops. She's found a form, Helen Housby, another clutch shot. She loves it. She loves to shoot long. She loves to involve the crowd. She loves that super shot.
Comwenda up the middle now. Gets herself back in again. Starting to get a little stationary, isn't it, in this attack line for the Vixens?
So often you come undone when you're trying to play steady possession netball. The miss back in the hands of the Vixens. Much needed, though, by the Swifts. Home alone, Comwenda. Takes them to 52. Seconds on the clock. Sense of urgency needed for the home side. Quick play of the penalty. Proud. They need Housby. It's in her hands. Lines it up long. Helen Housby. Yes! Another super shot. It's raining super shots for Helen Housby, and it's what the Swifts need. So they claw their way back to a more respectable deficit. The New South Wales Swifts trailing the Melbourne Vixens. It's 52 plays 46 as we go to three-quarter time. We've got a game in our hands on Fox Netball.
Contested in the air, right? So you've got to be there, two hands, stay clean, up and beat two hands forward.
Quarter time, Origin score. The Vixens with the lead, 52-46, and Bryony Akel asking Kath Cox for contest in the air.
Yeah, she's just saying at the moment that Comwenda's taking these balls far too easily. There's no body on body, as there was in the first half. Sarah Clow was riding Comwenda, and she was starting to fumble a few. She was starting to get a few of those wins, but then that just disappeared a little while for the New South Wales Swifts.
As a result, Sarah Clow back to goalkeeper this final quarter. Maddie Turner resumes transmission at goal defence. A seesawing contest, everything we'd hoped for. First quarter being won by the Vixens by just the one. The second quarter won by the Swifts by one. But that third quarter damaging for the New South Wales Swifts. The Vixens took it to another gear, took the quarter by 6. What can they produce in this final quarter? I pray for extra time. You've changed your mind twice in the game.
Yeah,
Who's
I'm
going to
about
win
to
it?
change it again. Don't ask me. It's
That's
too hard to
my job.
call.
That's my job. Liv Lewis has really earned her spot and has been left there full game by Sargeant-McKinnis.
The good news for the New South Wales Swifts is there is a definite scoring end in this game, and they find themselves up that end for this final quarter. Got some work to do.
Good start from Comwenda. Not in the air as the Swifts had talked about, but through the ball. Proud to Hadley.
They've gone back to the same starting shooting end as well. Housby with Aiken George for the New South Wales Swifts.
Kimmy Green, you've got a bird's eye view. Where's this going to be won?
Yeah, look, for me, it's about the shutdown of this mid-court for the Swifts. Vixens are doing a really great job at the moment. And when I was listening in that three-quarter time, Sargeant-McKinnis went straight to Eddie and said, "You're doing such a great job. You may not be getting ball in hand, but you are in the contest and creating pressure." She has 2 penalties to her name, Kate Eddie.
Kim, before we let you go, I saw a nice little chat happening between yourself and Sargeant-McKinnis before. Can you tell us what was going on?
Well, I retrieved the ball on the last one and it came past us again. I was like, "It's your turn, mate. Up you get."
Yeah, well, I feel about that with the Sargeant-McKinnis Cup, so there you go. We're going to play turns.
Yeah, smart work to swing that ball and then just opens Aiken George from the other side. And from the edge of the circle, that one-on-one, Liv Lewis cannot get to.
Fraser out of play. Watson with the penalty. Austin looks so cool, so measured under pressure. Kind of want to shake her sometimes. Little offload to Comwenda. And the Vixens like it. M. Mannix on the bench. Kim Borgia, an option in goal. And Hannah Mundy. She was good last week when she got the chance. Of course, Maloney's seeing some bench time. Kim Borgia middle. She is their until Rani Samuelson can get back on court. What a good addition she is to that line too. I mean, they don't need it at the moment. Very strong to post, very experienced. Housby.
Great ball. Starting to lift this ball a little bit higher into Remelderake and George.
Well, they are, but I was just still loving the jets on Olivia Lewis. She was up there. Maloney. Good battle in the midcourt. High ball to Kumwenda. Nice float, nice finish. And the Vixens tick it along to 56. 7 the difference. Oh, there's one. You jinxed her. Another contact against Kate Eddy, who's been pretty clean. I think Hadley almost imploring the umpire to call that. Showed there was a lot of body on, used the elbow a bit. Aitken at the other end responds to Kumwenda.
Well, they're starting this quarter, as we mentioned, they started the third. It looked like they're taking a bit of the speed out. They're a little bit more measured in their approach. That went out the window pretty quickly in that third quarter.
You stick around, Kat. It's going to rev up pretty soon. Absolutely enthralling contest. The ebb and flow between these two champion teams. Kumwenda pulls it from the air. She's had the finish. Trading blows, goal for goal. Housby working that front position on Western. Over the top to Aitken George. Too far out, wants closer. Gets it from Proud. Great quick release from the skipper.
You can see the little nod between Hadley and Proud. Like that feed, like the patience that came with it.
Speaking of patience, Watson, she's been good in this game.
Oh, interesting, the obstruction call coming from Sarah Clower, who had actually moved herself around the body of Kumwenda and was coming from the back angle. But of course, it is from where the ball's taken. So if Kumwenda had stepped in, have a look at this. Kumwenda steps in. So Clower's encroaching on that back space.
Pretty close either way. The execution, the idea was right. Centimetres were wrong.
It's such an analogy for this game, isn't it? It is centimetres.
Watson doing strong work off the line. Parallel they go. Patient play from the Vixens. Makes me nervous when Western opens up that arm. She thought about it. Oh, there's a turnover. This could be a changing moment in the game.
Yeah, Liz Watson was just roadkill, wasn't she? Helen Housby over the top of her, got on with the job.
Oh, and that was a little slower, the feed from Proud, but she likes it. So does Aitken George, so's the crowd here at Ken Roseland Arena. And this is another little twist and turn in the road of this match. Quick ball.
Well, they're up and about too, the Swifts, aren't you? You can feel the energy has just lifted a little bit with the players on court. You can hear it in the crowd.
And Avelino in back play cross court on her feet. She likes it, assistant coach for the Swifts. They're riding every ball. Little delay on that give. The finish from Kumwenda. Interesting last week when the Vixens were playing the Thunderbirds. Kathy Fellows, who was acting as head coach, made a comment to the Thunderbirds that Maloney was a 3-second call on every feed and to isolate her and work hard to draw that. Haven't seen it in this game. That one was close to it. Awkward, but still a take, still close range, still the finish for the difference. They've got to go out hunting, the New South Wales Swifts. They need turnover ball.
Yeah, who's going to get it for them? They've got to keep themselves in the contest. They can't be penalised here because Bryony Akel wants them contesting.
That last feed, Kath, was cross-court on an angle, so the Swifts need to come off chasing player in the air and get out to ball. Hard one to stop. Pretty to watch if you're a Swifts fan. Goal for goal, they're trading blows. Drops a shoulder, Kira Austin trying to get around Turner.
Well, this is the issue though, Turner now. Silly penalty probably in the scheme of things because you'd think this was going to be an easy one for the Vixens. It's a 2-on-1.
Interesting, the Vixens choose not to make plough pay on that.
Very interesting. Kira Austin just went and got herself in the mess at the top of the circle.
Malcolm Wender so comfortable. Little step on with each shot, not being made pay for narrowing that gap. Turner, the back play from the centre. Housby available. Foot race between her and Weston. She's so light on her feet, Helen Housby. Deceptive. Helen Housby said last week after their 1-goal win against Sunshine Coast Lightning, winning breeds confidence. Well, it's taken them a while to get there, but they're starting to believe it, starting to tick it along. And the Swifts are coming at them.
Well, in this game, it's a couple of goals in a row that's bringing the confidence. It's been a hard one, hasn't it? What a fight back, though. Oh,
that's the one from Sarah Cloud, the angle to ball. And the Swifts are back in business, crowd behind them.
The Swifts were down by 9 in that third quarter.
Must finish this one. Aiken George, it's in her hand, the right hand, the flick, the goal. See the difference, centre in hand. Both coaches on their feet. And you guessed it, it's a tactical timeout, an HCF timeout called by the Vixens. Why wouldn't you if you were Simone McKinnis? They're coming at them. The Swifts are charging home.
Well, it looks like there's going to be a bit of movement on this Melbourne Vixens bench too. You just saw the assistant coach, Di Honey, look down and say, warm up.
We started to hang on to the ball, stopped the movement and started to hang on to it. So go back to that movement, letting it go, the gives and the short and sharp. We've got to stay in play.
Yeah, sorry.
We've got to stay in play.
We're going to play
And just don't get yourself caught getting pushed up too high. So keep that variation on the movement. And every ball just contest harder. And sometimes play around with the second play.
Yeah, that's what it's very controlled here. We stay here, we our ball, and we work hard at it.
Ball movement, but it starts with ours.
Let's go, lots of options there. We have options to every. There's about 6.5 minutes. Give them hell. Yeah, let's go. Head, drive hard, nothing is left on this ball. In our game, let's go. Big song through. 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Well, the messaging clear from Simone McKinnis. You're starting to freeze. You're starting to hang on to the ball. Ironically, Kath, we just talked about the 3-second fringe that Kate Malone...
Oh, no. Well, it was dicey, wasn't it? They did see the defence was in a bit of a split circle and there was a momentary gap to get it there. And boy, it just snuck through, didn't it? Over the top, have a look.
Well, friendly fire, they nearly took each other out. They come together after it. Swifts are coming at the Melbourne Vixens. And Simone McKinnis asking them not to freeze. Let the ball go. Don't be overly cautious. Here's another. Red uniforms everywhere, a new energy, a new confidence. Housby wants the ball, and when she wants it, you're in bother. Proud, Hadley, turn it down on the line. And the Vixens are in chase position.
Well, they're keeping it short. They're being very smart here, the New South Wales Swifts, in the build-up to this shot from Aiken. Back to 1.
1-goal game. Swifts with the centre pass. Is now the time to mention extra time. 5 minutes of extra time will be played if it's a draw at the end of regular time.
Just warming up Remelda Aiken.
The crowd is riding every single pass. We're all locked up at 61 apiece. Just over 5 minutes remaining in this match. What do you think?
Well, the ebbs and flows of this game, I don't think I've seen another quite like it.
Arm wrestle, monumental arm wrestle, Settler here. Kira Austin obliges. And the Vixens up by 1. Could be a coach.
Not I.
Not I. Proud again, that running race, the shoulder race, Maloney and Proud absorbing in itself. Power 5 signal, and we're all locked up as we enter the final 5 minutes. Will it rain? Suncorp super shots? We're about to find out. to comment. The response from the Sydney crowd says it all. They're well aware of the importance of that penalty. Ball in hand, 62 apiece. 4 minutes 27 will seem an eternity for these players as Turner pops a knock to the head.
Close attention from two players. Eddie coming from one side, Austin behind it.
Well, Austin a thief in the night in this moment. Such a good defensive side to a game. Usually good for an intercept in these moments. Down goes Crowd, slow to get to her feet. Into the pocket. Big split from Aitken George. Steps it forward, draws Western, takes the goal. They've hit the front. The New South Wales Swifts have hit the front. All of a sudden, the faces of the Vixens look unsure. And Turner now being taken to the side. Now, we saw that she did have a knock to the head, which is on the near sideline. And I'm not sure who called that, whether it's a safety or she could be bleeding from it. Right thing to do, though. Duty of care for the players. And it's on a hand. Just checking, blood. She didn't have got another poke in the eye for her trouble. So, Ali Smith started the game at wing defence, now on at goal defence. That's a significant change, Kath Cox, for the Swifts to deal with.
Well, what a moment to have to come into a game too. She's come in cold. She didn't have time to warm up. And now in this pressure cooker of this last 3:45. Here it is again on the Harvey Norman replay. You can see the hit on the nose coming from Kate Eddy.
Well, double whammy. Elbows from both Austin and Eddy. Not intentional, but damaging. They're up by 2, the home side. Just hit the top 4 on the ladder last week with a scream of a game against Lightning. Gosh, they've got some ticker to back it up again this week. Swiss centre. Oh, good work from Western. Ground it down. So often in this game, Housby's had the front position and secured that on the take. Western having none of it, ran through that one. So they're out hunting.
Oh, look at Romelda Aiken trying to set the screen, but all she was doing was creating a whole mess of space for Housby. How smart was that?
Very pretty to watch, the connection between Crowd and Housby. Time now, the enemy of the Vixens. Up goes Ali Smith.
Oh, well, you feel like if that was Sarah Clow, that would have been ball in hand for the Swifts. Ali Smith is not the same stature.
No, but punching above her weight, Ali Smith. I'll give her that one. Good touch from Watson. Into contact.
Now come the penalties. Now comes the whistle. Who can keep their cool?
Oh, the take. Beautiful in the air is Helen Housby. And the finish.
Romelda Aiken
is 66. Is she smiling?
Highly unlikely.
She was smiling. She's enjoying it.
We can see Joe Weston then wanting to fire that long ball into the circle. Rightly so. Thought better of it in a moment like this.
Oh, 2 points from Kumwenda. And we're all locked up, 66 apiece, into the final 2 minutes of this match, we think. Stay tuned.
What do the Swifts do here now? They just want the one, knowing full well this clock's running down and the Vixens score a 2. Could be game over.
Well, some decisions to be made. Do you go the 2? Do you freeze the ball? If you freeze it, are you freezing it too early? All this in a game that's seesawed intensity across the full 60 minutes, unbearable for fans and players.
And all you used to have to think about was catching and throwing. It's turned into a bigger beast, hasn't it?
Absolutely. One the difference as we approach the final minute. The Vixens with possession over the top to the Watson. They back play. They're composed. They're not rushing it. They know time is crucial in this situation. Kumwenda wants it. Crowd doesn't want it to go.
Ali Smith! Well, I mentioned moments ago she didn't have the jumps when she needed them. Well, all of that is forgiven, isn't it?
Where'd they've been hiding Ali Smith at wing defence, and all the time she should have been at goal defence, stealing match-winning intercepts. They're freezing the ball now, the home side. 30 seconds on the clock. They're up by 1. We pause for the umpiring decision. Maloney and Proud going head-to-head. Housby, back play, that's composure. They can't afford to float it. They've got to have some angle on the ball.
Oh, they've got to keep attacking too, though. This does make me nervous. The
13 seconds. Hadley down. They've stayed in the centre third for what seems like an eternity. And that is against Liz Watson, doing her best to try and get hand to ball. 6 seconds. Who can watch Bryony Ackles? She can't watch the game. Ali Smith, what a hero. And they've done it. And they've done it. The New South Wales Swifts, in a match that has ebbed and flowed and seesawed, seen the lead change what seems like hundreds of times, have taken it by 1, 67-66. They defeat the Melbourne Vixens and they jump them on the table. From a 1-goal win last week against the Sunshine Coast Lightning to a 1-goal win over arch rivals, the Melbourne Vixens. Pictures tell it all. In the background, they rode the New South Wales Swifts home in that final quarter. Disappointment on the face of Kira Austin. Elation on the faces of the Swifts. What a turnaround, Kath Cox. Who would have thought with minutes remaining, seeing Turner leave the court, Ali Smith would soar like an eagle.
Amazing to see that, wasn't it? The New South Wales scoring 6 of the last 10 goals in that game. Taking back control, and my gosh, won't they be pumped? 2 weeks in a row, coming from behind and stealing a win by just the 1 point.
We'll go a long way to see better pitches in sport than that. Kath, let's have a look at where it was won.
Well, the turnover's really impressive. Both sides averaging 17 a game. The Vixens keeping it down where the 14 is, and the penalties as well. They'll be super impressed with that. We mentioned the Swifts games at halftime, pretty low. They got themselves back into the action. The Vixens, though, didn't turn much ball over in that second half of play.
Monumental game, round 6 to get us started. The New South Wales Swifts up against the Vixens. The Swifts taking the match 67-66. Okay, well, we catch our breath. We're going to put the work on to Kimmy Green. She's down courtside with Romelda Aitken-George.
Yeah, I have our player of the match, Romelda. Incredible game, clutch moments. How do you stand up under pressure?
What a game! It was amazing, and I think this was a full team effort. I think Vixens went up by 5, and we just had to stick to the grind and just know that the turnovers will come, and we just had to chip away.
Well, you talk about that tussle, but Liv Lewis had a fantastic game tonight as well. Let's talk about some of the change-ups you had to do out on court.
She was quite annoying. I'm not going to lie, she did get in my head for a little bit, and I just have to say well done to her, but I think for me it was definitely the girls out the front that just kept the composure.
And you talk about composure as well, but gosh, this game must have meant a lot for you. You've got momentum now. What happens in the next couple of games?
We go on to the next game and then we'll figure it out after that.
Sounds good. Well, congratulations, Romelda.
Thank you.
Look at the faces of the New South Wales Swifts. Every picture tells a story. Absolutely delighted. Where did that come from, Kath Cox? I don't know. Fabulous, fabulous netball. Well, of course, a win for the Swifts will see them jump a place on the ladder. Let's take a look at the ladder. The West Coast Fever, of course, sitting pretty top of the table. Adelaide Thunderbirds in second position, but of course that's a monster game tomorrow between West Coast Fever and the Adelaide Thunderbirds. We'll see another shift with that. The Swifts have leapfrogged the Vixens into third position. But below the Vixens, sitting on 8 points, Sunshine Coast Lightning, Giants Netball, Collingwood Magpies, those games coming up across the weekend. So much to look forward to in round 6 of Suncorp Super Netball. Well, plenty of movement on the ladder, and there'll be more. Never a dull moment in Suncorp Super Netball. Stay with us, because coming up after the break, we'll have our post-game show with Hannah Hollis, Kath Cox and Kim Green. You're watching Suncorp Super Netball live on Fox Netball. Well, joining me, Liv Lewis, in a losing side. For the crowd, though, I think it was such a monumental game. There isn't a loser. Just won the difference. You must have thought it was yours.
Yeah, probably a bit disappointed with that one, being up at three-quarter time and letting it slip at the end there. So lots of learnings to take from that game, I think. But yeah.
Well, you came off a game last week that was disappointing. Certainly there were learnings during the week because you opened up like a bomb in this game and it looked like you were going to claim it. A seesawing game. How do you stay in a game like that when it's so intense?
Yeah, I mean, last quarter was definitely very intense. I guess we just stuck to our process as best we could, but yeah, just unfortunately couldn't get there in the end.
Well, let's talk about Olivia Lewis. You got the start, which is fabulous. We're used to seeing you coming on during a game and having great impact, but you owned that back at keeper. You must have been thrilled with your own performance.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, disappointed again not to get the win, but yeah, I guess personally, good to get a bit more court time and get that start and run out a full game. My legs were pretty shot by the end there, but yeah, good to have a good run out.
Well, this is just the opening game of round 6 and of course the magnificent games following, but you're sitting in the top 4. It's banked up behind you. 3 teams on 8. They're coming for you. Do you feel that scoreboard pressure with regard to the ladder? We're getting to the midway of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a bit disappointing for us because we feel like that was in our control and now we're kind of seeing what other teams do, which is not ideal. So I guess we'll just have to see how the weekend plays out and go for it next week.
We obviously made huge inroads this week in training off the back of last week. It was a really strong performance. Next week it's Firebirds. Now they haven't played their round 6 game. They're up against the Giants. Do you feel a little like the Firebirds are due for a win? Does that play with your mind?
Oh, I mean, you can't go into any game thinking it's going to be an easy game regardless of the other team and their how they've gone so far in the season. So I think we'll be preparing the same and don't think we'll be wanting them to get their first win against us.
I'm sure you're disappointed in the loss, but so much to appreciate in the game and the fans.
Well, tonight at Ken Rosewell Arena, we have witnessed another instalment of a fierce rivalry. Interstate rivals, the Swifts and the Vixens. At half-time, it was 30 goals each. The Vixens then went out and had a 22-goal third quarter, but the Swifts, in the dying moments of the game, clutched victory from the jaws of defeat at full-time. The score going the way of the home side, 67-66. And joining us to unpack what was a wonderful first instalment of the Sargeant-McKinnis Cup, Kim Green, Kath Cox and Bryony Akel, the winning coach of the Swifts. Coxie, were you just checking the pulse?
That's still racing, I can assure you.
We're all trying to catch our breath back. Before we get into the specifics, Bryony, take me through the run of emotions you were feeling in the final moments of that game.
I sort of thought if we did get to within an even or 1 up, 1 down, we would be in control.
Okay.
When we were 5 down, I was like, this is going to be tough. But that last minute, we're good at that possession game, and thank God we were.
That third quarter, though, the end of that third quarter, where's your belief at in your team at that point? It looked like it wasn't going to happen for you.
No, I sort of was looking in their eyes going, we're to pull something out here, because it was almost like we were looking at the outcome rather than going, we've got 15 more minutes to play here. So I was just coming back to just try and grab little individual moments with each of them to say, get back in the game, we can grind this out.
And we see you using the bench quite a bit throughout all of the games, but tonight it worked particularly well.
Yeah.
What are some of the reasonings behind the change, in particular bringing Soph on?
Yeah, I thought teams are sort of figuring us out that Helen's a 2-point specialist, so I thought let's get Soph out there and get that rotating circle, and they have to pick which one of them to defend in that 2-point time.
Well, you mentioned Helen Housby, and she certainly is becoming the 2-point specialist. We talked about it at the start of the game, that it's not necessarily just the 2 points, but it's when she does it. It's the moments like that. You've got so much faith in her ability, don't you?
Yeah, I think you need to leave it to them in the end. I think that, you know, as a shooter, you would know if you're feeling it, you're feeling it, and I certainly think we all know she knows that loves the big moments, but I think for us, we're going to go back and review those moments that aren't the big moments that got us into that position.
Yeah, and we also talk about that connection with Romelda Aiken-George. Gosh, you must be happy with return investment of Romelda coming to the Swifts.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for us, she's getting better every game, and that's taken some time and just getting her confidence back that she can play this game at the best level in the world. So, yeah, I think their combination's coming along nicely. She adds not just on court, she's brilliant off court with her advice and little bits of information to Soph and Helen, and she's just great to have in the team.
Taylor Fraser, you brought her in. We love talking to her in the pre-game, and she said she is an impact player. once she got on court, she had no sense of personal safety. She was just going for everything. What did you make of what she was able to show you tonight?
Yeah, I think Tate knows her role, and I think that's what the great thing about her is, that she comes on, and no matter what position, we had the talk during the week whether she could come on in that wing defence position, and she did it. So proud of her.
Defensively too, Kim talked about the changes. You used all 4 defenders. Ali Smith in the circle too.
Yeah.
And she was giving away a lot of centimetres, but that rebound right when you needed it, you're going to go and give her a massive hug in a minute.
Oh my gosh, I don't think we got one rebound besides that rebound at the end. So she's tough, and I knew that she'd get in there and have a go no matter what. So yeah, I think Sarah and Maddie are very, very grateful for her last rebound there.
And just with Sarah Clow, we saw her change up her game slightly, coming out of the circle more. Was that something that you spoke about before this game?
Yeah, we absolutely did. I think Sarah, for her own sort of game, wants to come out and get some more gains, and we didn't have really many until half time. So that is a plan. I think she's got to be brave. She's a great player on the body or off the body. So for her to come out hunting is exactly what we want her to do.
First consecutive win of the season for the Swifts, Bryony. Are you hoping this is a bit of a springboard for the rest of the season?
Oh gosh, let's hope so. It's a nice feeling.
But maybe just don't leave it till the last few seconds of the game and do it by 1 point. I think that's going to be good for your health and safety.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 2 doctors standing by, so lucky I got that defib ready.
You have a interstate rivalry tonight, but another rival awaits you next week. You're back here, but it's an away game for you guys. We're talking about the New South Wales Derby, ladies and gentlemen. You're taking on the Giants. How do you feel about this momentum that you're taking into a game like that?
Oh, obviously any win is great momentum in this league. It's the best league in the world, and every week you know you've got to bring your game, and certainly against the Giants we know that you have to bring the game, and the crowd come into it, and the girls love it. They look forward to it, and hopefully it'll be a great game.
And the fans love watching it. Bryony Ankle, thanks so much for your time and enjoy this win.
Thank you guys.
We have plenty more exclusive post-match reaction coming your way from the first instalment of the Sargeant-McKinnis Cup. Don't go anywhere as we turn our attention to a doubleheader tomorrow, and all eyes look to the top of the table clash between the Fever and the Thunderbirds.
Thanks, Sheila.
Tomorrow, Suncorp Super Netball. The game we've all been waiting for. The challengers, the Adelaide Thunderbirds. They've found their mojo and are heading west.
They haven't just beaten them, an 11-goal win. What a game.
Waiting for them, the Fever Juggernaut. Currently on a 9-game winning streak.
The West Coast Fever march their way to the top of the ladder.
This green machine shows no signs of slowing down. Tournament goal leader Janelle Fowler against the fiercest keeper in the game, Shamira Sterling. This matchup never disappoints. While English import Eleanor Cardwell will need to command her way around the impenetrable wall that is Courtney Bruce. Can the Thunderbirds produce an upset that will go down in the record books? Catch this top-of-the-table clash, live and exclusive on Fox Netball, tomorrow, 3:45 p.m.
Welcome back to Fox Netball, where we are at Ken Rosewell Arena in what is our standalone single match here on your Saturday. We are in the post-game show, wrapping up all things Suncorp Super Netball at full time. 67-66 going the way of the Swifts. They got bragging rights early in the season over their interstate rivals, the Vixens, Kath Cox and Kim Green alongside me. Let's get into the Vixens and where it fell apart from them. But early on in that first quarter, everything was coming up the Victorian side, Kim.
Yeah, they were doing such a great job in just finding that momentum and then continuing to go on with it. They let them back in the second quarter. Third quarter again, fire out, and then fourth. It was just an incredible match of both teams having a really, really great contest.
Yeah, they looked like they were getting a little clogged a bit in that first quarter. We talked about that, and again in the final bit of that game, and I think that's where the Swifts really started to get on top of them. They were starting to win a bit of ball back because it was all a little bit too crowded there as well. So certainly areas for the Vixens to work on, but they're little tweaks. I think they're really easy fixes. They've just got to find a bit more space on the court for me.
The captain, Liz Watson, looked like she roared back to life after being shut down by Wilson last week from the Thunderbirds. Ladies, she may have got a little bit lucky there when her foot went over the sideline. The Swifts fans knew all about it. But beyond that, what did you make, Kim?
Yeah, look, she had a solid game, 38 feeds to her name and 25 centre pass received. You'd have no doubt that she's going to do the workload. And as Coxie mentioned, it's about those moments. And in that last little few minutes of that game, you just see these little things creeping in under pressure. It's Watson and Kira Austin both over the line, clogging space, clogging the front space, especially around the top of the circle. So there are improvements, but gosh, they were right in the game.
Olivia Lewis, Kath. She got the goalkeeper bib. She had the task of taking down Romelda Aitken-George. And did she deliver?
I could watch that particular replay all day, every day. The elevation on her, unbelievable. This is exactly why she got the start on Romelda Aitken-George and why she stayed on the court the entire game. The Vixens didn't go to the bench. I was expecting to see Mannix at some point in the contest, but Olivia Lewis just was saying to Simone McKinnis, I got it covered. I can get these high balls, and she did that so many times. She was great to watch, and I think what she's done is proven to Simone McKinnis she's not just an impact player.
Looking forward to seeing how Simone McKinnis will manage that rotation throughout the season. We know she doesn't like going to the bench too often, so maybe she designates entire games to either the likes of Emily Mannix or Olivia Lewis. Watch this space. We've spoken about the star goalkeeper. Let's hear from her now.
Well, joining me, Liv Lewis, in a losing side. For the crowd, though, I think it was such a monumental game. There isn't a loser. Just won the difference. You must have thought it was yours.
Yeah, probably a bit disappointed with that one, being up at three-quarter time and letting it slip at the end there. So lots of learnings to take from that game, I think. But yeah.
Well, you came off a game last week that was disappointing. Certainly there were learnings during the week because you opened up like a bomb in this game and it looked like you were going to claim it. A seesawing game. How do you stay in a game like that when it's so intense?
Yeah, I mean, the last quarter was definitely very intense. I guess we just stuck to our process as best we could, but yeah, just unfortunately couldn't get there in the end.
Well, let's talk about Olivia Lewis. You got the start, which is fabulous. We're used to seeing you coming on during a game and having great impact, but you owned that back at keeper. You must have been thrilled with your own performance.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, disappointed again not to get the win, but yeah, I guess personally, good to get a bit more court time and get that start and run out a full game. My legs are pretty shot by the end there, but yeah, good to have a good run out.
Well, this is just the opening game of round 6 and of course some magnificent games following, but you're sitting in the top 4. It's banked up behind you. 3 teams on 8. They're coming for you. Do you feel that scoreboard pressure with regard to the ladder? We're getting to the midway of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a bit disappointing for us because we feel like that was in our control and now we're kind of seeing what other teams do, which is not ideal. So I guess we'll just have to see how the weekend plays out and go for it next week.
We obviously made huge inroads this week in training off the back of last week. It was a really strong performance. Next week it's Firebirds. Now they haven't played their round 6 game. They're up against the Giants. Do you feel a little like the Firebirds are due for a win? Does that play with your mind?
Oh, I mean, you can't go into any game thinking it's going to be an easy game regardless of the other team and their how they've gone so far in the season. So I think we'll be preparing the same and don't think we'll be wanting them to get their first win against us.
I'm sure you're disappointed in the loss, but so much to appreciate in the game and the fans loved it. We thank you for that.
Thanks, Annie. Thanks.
Now, first game then. Done and dusted for round 6 of Suncorp Super Netball. The Vixens not able to get the win, but Kath, the Swifts not only get the 4 championship points, they put one hand on the Sargeant-McKinnis Cup.
They do, don't they? And that's the all-important thing. It was the Vixens last year, so they'll be wrapped with that. And as I said, history tells us that typically the person that wins the first game wins the second, so we'll see if they can keep that season going.
Let's take a look at how the rest of the weekend is unfolding on your home of netball. Fox and Netball tomorrow. The Giants and the Firebirds open up our exclusive doubleheader of Suncorp Super Netball, and join us tomorrow for all the build-up ahead of the match of the season so far. First against second as the Thunderbirds make the toughest road trip in the competition, and then we turn our attention to Melbourne on Tuesday for the Anzac round traditional match between the Magpies and the Lightning. We'll preview that game on the Pivot Couch tomorrow, plus our special guest Kira Austin joins us as well, ladies, as we turn our attention to games 2 and 3. All eyes have got to be on RAC Arena, right?
Absolutely. I can't wait for that one. I'm sitting down and no one is bothering me. No one's bothering you too.
No, they're not. I'm just looking forward to Courtney Bruce and Eleanor Cardwell. Do not speak to me. I'll be enthralled.
The action continues to roll on here on Fox Netball. Thank you so much for your company and congratulations to the Swifts, our Saturday night winners here at Ken Rosewell Arena. That's all we have time for. We'll see you tomorrow.